during the presidential campaign, a lot of the news coverage about it was made out the Democrats and the Republicans as a black and white issue, and pretending that I mean that only in the figurative way.
Yeah.
Do you see it as much as they made it out to be? That them being Democrats and Republicans, Obama and McCain being such complete opposites on issues?
I don't believe they're complete opposites on quite a few issues. I mean, they both were in favor of the bailout. They're both in favor of military activity, in the Middle East. But there are important shades of difference between them, which could mean life or death to. There may be far few paralyzed U.S. soldiers under the Obama administration than McCain one. That's a good thing. But I still think that we fundamentally live in a one-party state, one corporate party with two right wings. And the primary difference between them is the velocity at which they rush to suck at the corporate teat. That I think has been true for a very, very long time. And like I said, the ideas beyond a very narrow parameter are simply not allowed in the discourse.
You don't think there could ever be a much more left-wing candidate than we've seen?
There are candidates all the time that are more left-wing.
I mean, genuine candidate, like genuinely in the running.
Well, I mean, the parties want the system. Power wants the system like it is, so that you can't have ideas that would threaten the crux of power. That's why these Nader candidacies are always make such a stink, because all that guy wants to do is just be in the debates to say things that would make people's jaws drop. Like the president is a war criminal, or that the bailout is this regressive income tax from the poor to the rich.
It seems like anyone who was ever in the Bush administration has basically a living now writing about it and publishing books. I mean, does it make you glad that the facts are being exposed, basically, about the Bush administration?
Does it make me happy? I don't know that I won't be reading too many of those books. I think that this presidency has been so awful that it's the least popular presidency in the history of the Republic, and now people are writing books about. I mean, you don't need to read those books to know that it's been both personally, morally, economically, bankrupt administration.
So, are you generally hopeful towards the next, at least 4 years, considering that you said it couldn't get any worse?
Well, I'm as hopeful as I've ever been, certainly during my adult life, about a presidency, with the understanding that I think that the horrendous nature of the Bush administration has made a unique opportunity in American history. One, for us to elect an African-American president, something I never dreamed I'd see in my lifetime. And two, for policy, because the policies of the Bush administration have been so rejected by the American people, that there's an opportunity for more progressive steps. But it's a pretty deep hole that Bush has done this.
Okay, so back to music a bit. Yep. Here at ExploreMusic, we like to, tell people what's out there, just recommendation, perspective, context. A 14-year-old comes up to you after the show. He has 0 records in his collection. He says, Tom, please take me record shopping.
Oh my gosh.
What 5, and only 5, records do you get him to start him off? Okay.
This is just off the top of my head. We're going to go with Dylan's The Times They Are a Change, The Clash, London Calling, Black Sabbath, We Sold Our Souls for Rock and Roll, Public Enemy, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, and Bruce Springsteen, Darkness on the Edge of Town.
Good choices. What 5 songs are you listening to right now? Well, what are you listening to right now? What's on your iPod?
I normally put it on shuffle, so I'm my own DJ with my radio station of 5,000 songs. But I like there's the Dylan Bootleg Series Volume 8 is pretty great. It's like the songs that he leaves off his records are much better than the songs that anyone else puts on their records. It's pretty amazing. The new Conor Oberst record I like very much.
Were you a Bright Eyes fan?
Yeah, big Bright Eyes fan, and I like his solo record with just his name on it. Those are the things that I've downloaded.
Is there any new bands you're into? Bands you played with? Bands you heard of recently?
There's a great band called Outer Nat. Their record, I actually produced a band from. I don't enjoy producing bands generally because it's hard enough to be in a band without having to sort of sift through the arguments of other people's drummers and but there's a band from Brooklyn called Outer National, which is one of the best bands I've heard in a long time. I just produced a record for Warner Bros. I think they're amazing. It's like a world music Rage Against the Machine.
You actually played on that, I thought.
I played on one song,
Oh.
but it's a great thing.